My name is Tamra Geryk, and I do a lot of different things right now. It's an interesting time for me. But currently I am doing some consulting work for different businesses in the area.
My name is Adam O'Neill, and I thought, why is it that young men especially aren't oriented or welcomed into yoga? So to me, I thought really it was a matter of branding. And so that led to a few conversations with another friend of mine, and we started Broga.
I'm Judy Herrell. I graduated UMass in the graduate program in '86. I'm one of the older people on the panel. And Steve and I started Herrell's Development Corporation, which is the official franchisor for Herrell's Ice Cream Corporation, but they're two separate companies. Development is now the parent company for Herrell's Ice Cream.
I was a philosophy major. We started thinking about, well, what kind of storytelling and content delivery can these new devices actually pioneer? And that's how we came up with Broadcaster, which was a much more ambitious project. We met an iPhone developer who had worked for Motorola, dropped out, gone to New York to become a novelist, so he was a perfect fit. So we brought him on board and we started developing Broadcaster, which is using streaming media and location-aware devices.
I am an Eisenberg grad from 2008. Currently live in the Boston area and work on two kind of entrepreneurial ventures. I guess by day, I work at a private equity fund called Arcturus Capital, where I was joined the team as a founding member at night and weekends and kind of in pockets during the day. I work on a startup called uConnect, which I founded in 2010.
I'm a true believer in social media and networking. And your networking isn't, like you said, it's going to reach all different points. You're going to find people that have strengths where your strengths are not lying. And then even that people have the same strengths as you have, you might be able to bring something different to their table. A perfect example of that is Steve and I are very good friends with Ben and Jerry. And which of course nobody's surprised about ever, you know. We all have the same social consciousness, we all have the same ideas about giving back to the community. Steve spoke with Ben and Jerry during the period of the original Steve's Ice Cream before there was a Ben and Jerry's, and he encouraged them to start their own business. They were interested in the ice cream business, and we kind of taught them how to make ice cream, which people don't really know, and we don't talk about it very much. Yeah. But if you were to ask Ben and Jerry, you know, how they got started, they would tell you, and they would also tell you that if they couldn't get their own ice cream, that they would eat Herrell's. So very loyal. But when they had several years ago, 25 years ago, they had some problems in the plant when they first started going into plants with a situation where they couldn't get a certain goodie item or a mixture item into the ice cream without a failure in the system. And we were visiting at the time, and we kind of went in and we all sat there, you know, brainstormed how to fix the problem. And we figured it out, you know, between the four of us. And it's worked fine ever since. The product is not in the graveyard, it's still available. And it's become a big joke, you know, between us that, you know, competitors working together. But you're going to be amazed how often that actually happens.
Maybe because I didn't go to business school and I was friends with a bunch of bohemians, but I always resisted the idea of like networking. I think I don't like the word networking because it sounds so cold, and I definitely felt like really resistant to the idea that it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I felt like, you know, I want to do something that has integrity and that is good enough to be recognized. And honestly, that kind of idealism is really misguided, and I think it inhibited me in the first 10 years of my life outside of college. Because networking doesn't have to be this careerist, Machiavellian, like, I'm being nice to this person because I can get something out of them. Ideally, when networking really works, it's because you've connected with somebody else as a human being, and you share interests, and you're excited by each other's ideas, and that kind of thing. And it's super important, as everybody has said. And now that we're trying to make the most of it, and I'm not resistant to it anymore, things happen a lot quicker because I don't have that kind of resistance. Like when I applied to MFA programs, I was like, I don't want to like go there and then kiss the asses of all the professors. I want to get in there because my short story is the best short story. But now, after going to a program, I know that, well, by going there and kissing the asses of the professors, you're showing them that you're serious, and you're letting them know that you value them, and you're giving them a sense of who you are. So it's not as simple as I used to think it was. And in terms of social media, it's so extremely important that I don't even think people are going to be talking about networking versus social media. In 2 years, it'll be exactly the same thing. And social media can be done one of two ways. It can be done by putting an intern on it, or it can be done by really intelligently looking at it. There's a lot of research being done into effective use of social media. People are learning things like the most effective time to put a tweet out there is at 9 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time on Monday, because that will have the largest reverberation through the Twitterverse and then the social sphere in general. And you can do all this kind of A/B testing. You can use Bitly on, if you're sending out a link on Twitter, you can use Bitly and you can actually get statistics. And so if you send out similar links, like we tweet about our videos, so you can see like, well, what kind of teaser actually works the best and gets the most click-throughs. The problem with just saying like, oh, I don't really understand social media, so I'm going to hire an intern and pay them $12 an hour and give them my Twitter account, is that interns are generally not doing that extra level of intelligence and really using it the best possible way that they can. I think if you're intelligently using social media, you're going beyond just tweeting, but you're actually kind of figuring out what's the most effective way to do it.